Welcome to 1000 PS. Welcome to Austria. Welcome to the QJ SRT 450 RX. I hope I got that right. So essentially, this is QJ's adventure bike with a 21-inch front wheel, 18-inch rear. It's about 185 kilograms. Seat height, I think, if I remember rightly, is 835, and it's the A2 do it all, go it all, everywhere adventure bike. So it's A2 compliant, which means 47 horsepower. It's right on the limit of the max power, max torque. I think max power is about 9 and a bit. No, it can't be, about 8 and a bit. I'll have to double check, but it's 47 horsepower. It's right on the limit of what you can do with an A2 licensed bike. I think the only bike in this class that's on the limit is the new BMW F450 GS, but that's lighter than this. But this has got a 21-inch front, 18-inch rear, Chinese made, Chinese engine, parallel twin. Everything done by QJ in China. Now, I have a bit of a confession, because even though we're riding this in Austria, and it is absolutely beautiful, I have ridden this bike quite a lot in the UK. Now, what makes the UK bike a little bit different to this bike that we have in Austria is in the UK we get the rally version. So the rally version gets the crash bars that this doesn't have, that kind of come around here, that look quite cool. Excuse me. And the rally version also gets full luggage, full hard panniard luggage with 2 side boxes and a top box. And all that is for 5,700 in the UK. So this is even cheaper, because we don't have the luggage, and we don't have the crash bars. But in the UK, if you want this bike with everything, it's 5,700. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, apart from how amazing these roads are, that's impressive value for money. But it doesn't end there. We have got heated seat, we've got heated grips, we've got a full TFT dash. In there I've got tyre pressure monitors, so 2.2 bar, 2.3 bar, even tyre temp, 21 front, 23 rear. I've got a Bluetooth connectivity dash, I got handguards. I mean, we're just talking just over 5.5 grand. Remembering that in the UK you get the luggage with that and the crash bars. That is exceptional value for money. In terms of rider aids, what we got? Well, we got ABS. Let me just double check that. Yep, ABS. And we've got traction control. Pretty basic ABS. Pretty basic traction, because there's no IMU, there's no lean sensitive anything. Ooh, bit of gravel. It is just conventional traction control, monitoring throttle position, RPM and such forth. A conventional ABS just monitoring wheel speed, so when one wheel goes slower than the other, it releases the brake. We've got 3 rider modes, which I'll show you when we stop. Now I know what you're thinking, why do I need to show you the rider modes when we stop? That's because you can't change the rider modes whilst you're riding, which defeats the kind of object of having rider modes, no? But we have got them, you just can't change them whilst you're riding. So in terms of what QJ have done to tempt us to the a Chinese manufacturer that's pretty new to the UK and to Europe, to be fair, is giving us exceptional value for money. Like, incredible value for money. Under 6 grand for heated grips, heated seat, rider modes, traction, ABS, luggage, crash protection, hand guards, rider modes, TFT clocks. The list just keeps on going. We've also got 21-inch front, 18 rear combination. Suspension comes from Marzocchi, that is adjustable as well. So it's adjustable front, adjustable rear. Pretty easy to do. It's manually adjustable, nothing electronic or anything like that if you're used to those type of bikes, sorry. But there's not many bikes in this class with a 21-inch front wheel that have that. I'm thinking K-Leaf 500 from Kawasaki is more expensive, has nowhere near the tech and spec, and hasn't got the adjustability. But that's why you're going QJ, because you're essentially saving money. Tyres are the CEAT rubber, if I remember rightly. I'd have to, but they're basically unfamiliar rubber. And as mentioned previously, I have ridden this bike before, and what's interesting is initially I wasn't that impressed by the tyres. But that was here in Austria and in the UK. I mean, the conditions here in Austria are absolutely perfect. But I think they just need a lot of time to kind of bed in and scrub in. Because now they're scrubbed in, they're actually pretty good. I've not ridden the bike in the wet. I didn't ride it in the UK in the wet, and I've not ridden it here in Austria in the wet. I mean, look at it. It's perfect. Right, we'll just do a little turn around here, which incidentally is really easy, because even though it's got a 21-inch front, the seats kind of cut out the chassis, which means, ooh, look at that, Bluetooth. Wow, I could change, oh, I could change that, I could change the traction control, heat grips, heated seat. Wow. I mean, a lot of it is not in English, which doesn't really help, but so I could change the traction and I could change the ABS. Speeding off-road. Cool. Oh, I forgot to mention the brakes. Sorry about that. So brakes are actually from Brembo. We just got one disc and Brembo brakes. Again, how they're doing that for just what, over 5.5. But the brakes are a little bit like the tyres, in that I think they need bedded in. I think the pads are just glazed or something when the bike comes from China, or maybe they're using really naff pads. But they get better the more you use them. The back brake is a little bit odd. There's a huge amount of travel on the back brake. Oh, it's like, feels like it doesn't really work. It feels like an old shoe brake or something. It barely works, loads of travel, then does work. Oh, little jump. But it's punchy. Now, oh, you alright, dude? CEAT. Wow, look at these boys. You think you're on your adventure bike doing adventure stuff, and he's got his frying pan on the side. That's awesome. That's proper. It's actually quite... Yeah, do you know what? That's got some... It's only 47 horse, because that's the limit, but it's got some punch. It don't mind a few reps. But the brakes are... Even though the Brembos, the brakes are not brilliant. The brakes are weak. But I think some different pads would transform these brakes. The fueling is okay. But what you notice about the fueling is it's not brilliant at, like, from 0%. I'll slow it down a bit, we're at 50. Like, I'll show you. Like, once you're on the power, look at that. It's okay, but it's not perfect. Like Aprilia, Ducati, Triumph, Honda, they're the king of the fueling, and this is just... When you're filtering through town or when you're doing slow speed stuff, you kind of notice it, but it takes a while to notice it. You've got to do some miles on the bike, which is exactly what we've done here at 1000 PS. Alright. Doesn't sound half bad. See that? Pick up there. In terms of high speed stuff, got an adjustable screen. Can I do that? Yeah. And as you'd expect, she's a little bit vibey at high speed touring, but it's a 47 horsepower, 5.5 grand bike. So if you're doing like 75 and above, it'll do it. Oh, 50. Which is a little bit vibey. We're not taking the bike off-road. This is a complete and utter kind of just riding impressions in absolute. I mean, look at that. It's just amazing, isn't it? It's perfect kind of A2 bike roads. I keep seeing big heavy GS's fully laden on these roads, and I'm thinking that looks like a lot of hard work. This is not. That's interesting, it just keeps revving. So it doesn't seem to be a rev limit, it just goes into the red and keeps on going. But all in all, considering what you get in the UK on the UK bike, with the luggage, the top box, the crash bars, the heated seat, the heated grips, the Bluetooth connectivity, the TFT dash, for under 6 grand, you don't need to add anything more to go touring on it, because that what do you need? ABS, traction control, you can switch these off and go. It's, if it was my bike, which I am absolutely tempted to do, I would change the brake pads, because the braking, like when you're braking into these downhill things, is not good. Not on a bike that weighs 185 kilograms and is A2, it should be better. I changed the pads, and I might change the tyres, I don't know, because they're actually not that bad. They were not great to start with, but now they've been bedded in, they're pretty good. And could you go do some big touring on this? Yeah. Back in the UK I did a lot of miles, did like 200-300 miles and really enjoyed it. And alright, it's got an unfamiliar brand, who's QJ. We don't know what the dealer backup's going to be like, and etc. But depending on where you're watching this video and where you live, but you can't argue with the fact Look at that. It's got a 21-inch front, but I wouldn't say you're making... It still steers okay. It's not as heavy and slow steering as other bikes with a 21 in this class. I'm really impressed by it. I think it's really good. But we haven't done anything off-road yet, and we haven't done real high speed. I mean, if we went over the border to Germany on the Autobahn, then it might be a different story. That is a hell of a lot of bike for £5,500.